This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Soldier who pulled gun on cop and wife found in compromising position convicted. The Jamaica Defense Force corporal who pulled his gun on his wife and a policeman who were found in a compromising position at their home in Greater Portmore, St. Catherine, has been convicted. Omar Williams, 32, was yesterday found guilty in the gun court on charges of common assault and illegal possession of firearm. The charges stemmed from reports from his wife that he had pointed a gun at her during the dramatic encounter on February 19, 2020. Williams's bail was further extended for him to return to court for sentencing before Justice Bertram Morrison on May 17. At the same time, Williams, who was accused of shooting the policeman, was freed of charges of shooting with intent and illegal possession of firearm. Those offenses were dismissed following a no-case submission by his attorney, Linton Gordon, at the end of the 10-day trial. Gordon asserted that the army man acted in self-defense. In court, he argued that about 11:30 on the night in question, Williams showed up at his home unexpectedly and found the policeman, who was naked, standing in the living room beside his wife, who was skimpily dressed in lingerie. The soldier then turned on the light and saw the policeman reaching under a cushion that was nearby. He then went up to the cop, hit him on his head and asked him what he was doing, and saw that a gun was under the cushion. The policeman then reached for the weapon and was shot in his shoulder by the army corporal. The injured policeman was then rushed to the hospital and the soldier was later arrested and charged. Attorney at law Obika Gordon is also representing Williams. Another conviction for Portmore man linked to multiple crimes. Romero Stewart, otherwise called Choco, was convicted for illegal possession of ammunition on Thursday in the Kingston Gun Court. This after being found guilty of wounding with intent on March 14, 2021. Stewart's latest conviction is for the 74 rounds of 9mm cartridges that he was found with when he was captured in a joint operation in Portmore by the St. Catherine South Special Operations Unit and members of the Jamaica Defense Force. The operation, which was conducted in November of last year, was led by Detective Inspector Commander Thomas. According to police sources, the St. Catherine South Police Division has stepped up the investigation thrust for arms and ammunition, including the sale of ammunition within the division. Stewart was found guilty by Justice Sonia Wint Blair and is to be sentenced on June 1. On March 14, Stewart was convicted of the 2018 shooting of a woman. Sources said he was also the prime suspect in the March 2019 double murder of teenagers David Cameron and Brittany Alling, who both attended Donald Quarry High School in St. Andrew. Cameron was aged 15 years and Allen 14. In a news story on that incident, both teenagers were reportedly lying on a bed in a room at a residence along Mandela Close in Westchester, Portmore, when armed men entered and opened fire, hitting both teens in their heads. The police were summoned and on arrival found Allen lying face down on a bed with what appeared to be gunshot wounds to the head. Cameron was found on his back on the bed, also with what appeared to be gunshot wounds to the head. Police sources suggested that fear among witnesses hindered their investigation of the double murder. Stewart was taken on an identification parade in relation to the double killing, but was not pointed out. In another incident in which Stewart was a prime suspect, police sources said witnesses refused to cooperate with an investigation into the 2020 murder of a woman in Westchester. Police Commissioner reports reduction in crime during weekend lockdowns. Commissioner of Police Major General Anthony Anderson is reporting a reduction in crime during the 3 weekend lockdowns that were implemented as part of measures to curtail the spread of the novel coronavirus, COVID-19. He said that during the first weekend lockdown, there was an increase in murders, but the rates steadily declined over the next 2 weekends. For the first weekend lockdown, it was no different from without a lockdown. We found that the first weekend we had over that period a 6% increase, 22 homicides took place, he noted. Then the next one it dropped and the following one it dropped, As we adjusted our strategies around what is happening, particularly in the corporate area, Major Anthony Anderson said. He was addressing the Crime Consensus Monitoring and Oversight Committee's digital briefing yesterday. Major Anderson explained that the change in strategy led to some quick responses to things that were unfolding to try to keep them under control. So where we are now, all major crimes are down 12.4% at the moment. So is it a valuable tool also for crime control? To an extent, it is. What we have found, especially with the gang-related matters, is that the gangs find a space. If you give them a couple hours, they will try to get at each other, he noted. But what we have been doing is following up on them very rapidly and solving these cases very quickly. And where people are doing things like drive-bys and robberies, we are actually responding a lot quicker and actually capturing them, he pointed out. The police commissioner noted that the message is going out that it is not going to be easy to commit crimes and get away with them. What you are actually seeing is, as we have invested in our technologies and transportation has gotten better, you are starting to see the payoffs, Major Anderson said. The Crime Consensus Monitoring and Oversight Committee was established in 2020 with a mandate to set goals aimed at mitigating crime and reporting to the public. The independent body, which comprises non-partisan stakeholders from the private sector, civil society, academia, and the political directorate, is chaired by Jamaica Chamber of Commerce President Lloyd Distant Jr. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.